Nova Scotia is the most populated Atlantic province of Canada. The area was one of the first colonies in North America. It was called Acadia of New France. The initial settlement was at Port Royal. Halifax became the capital during the later British rule. First British colonists were from Scotland and the colony was called Nova Scotia. Halifax was built as a British Protestant settlement with fortifications. The settlers needed protection from the French and the natives. Later Halifax became a naval base and retained this function till the present days. The Navy participated in many local and remote wars. The province developed economically in the second half of the 19th century. Some of the largest Canadian banks were born in Halifax at that time. Halifax has many historical buildings and the public gardens, first in North America of this sort. The gardens are frequented by the locals and the tourists and are a usual place for private and public ceremonies. Nova Scotia accumulated 400 years of history and many of the attractions are historical. It is also important as the most developed Atlantic maritime province. Its history and culture is influenced by the ocean. Halifax became a large naval port during the First World War, but that brought a disaster. In 1917 a French munitions ship, Mont-Blanc, collided with a Norwegian ship, Emo. It was the largest man-made explosion before the first testing of an atomic bomb. The north end of the city was leveled. 2,000 people were killed and 9,000 injured. Halifax still is an important Canadian naval port and a shipbuilding site. It even hosts tall ship regattas. Nova Scotia is called Canada's ocean playground for a reason. Halifax Waterfront attracts both locals and tourists. It is a base for boat tours and a place for shopping and dining. One of the typical local specialties is lobster. A must-see place close to Halifax is Peggy's Cove. History of the name has several theories. The village could be named after St. Margaret's Bay. Peggy is short for Margaret. Samuel de Champlain named the bay after his mother Marguerite Leroy. Another theory suggests the village was named after the wife of an early settler. She was the sole survivor of a shipwreck at Halibut Rock near the Cove. She could not remember her name and the family who adopted her called her Peggy. The girl later married a man from the Cove and became known as Peggy of the Cove. Whatever is the true history, the story promoted the site as a tourist attraction. The natural beauty of the place, the lighthouse and the rocks became a symbol of Atlantic Canada. The village still keeps its function as a fishing village and the main specialty is lobsters, as anywhere else in the Atlantic Canada.
The tail end of the lobsters. Now there's a lot of folks, they enjoy the body part of the lobster. That's more or less where the tamale and the roe is located, but boy oh boy, it's not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea at all.
That green stuff.
To grow this length here, okay, roughly the pound and a half lobster. Now this lobster here, this is a male.
Remember when we came in, those girls went to the water?
Another place worth visiting is within Halifax itself. It is the Halifax Citadel. The first fortifications were built in 1794. The hill used to be 10 meters higher, but it was slowly leveled during constructions. Halifax was established as a British presence to counterbalance the earlier French control of the area.
Order!
to the left. Fight. Days. Miss.
So, that is the century change, and as soon as the couple of the artisans is on there...
The British settlers were at risk for attacks by the French, Acadians and the native Mi'kmaq. The citadel was fortified later during the American Revolution. It served as a base for the British Army. Halifax had the nickname Warden of the North. The Napoleonic Wars presented another threat in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. However, the present citadel was constructed during the peaceful Victorian era. Our other recommendation is to visit the Cape Breton Island and drive the famous Cabot Trail. The scenic highway is named after the explorer John Cabot, who landed in Atlantic Canada in 1497. There are several interesting communities along the highway.